and kind of letting the cards unfold. We were talking and we said, you know what? We've gone through sales and what stretching is.
Podcast where we discuss all things business, including growth, strategy, and execution, as well as personal and professional development. Let's join Howie and Beastmode in conversation.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit, so I'm going to dive into the concept that it doesn't matter. So let's do that. I'll share my screen. So this is the Howie and Beastmode podcast, and we are doing a series right now on job search. Beastmode has a little bit of a probably not his favorite internet experience right now, so he'll try to pop in when he can. And the thing is, this is a tough night for his internet to be sketchy because he actually loves this topic, which is branding. And I know there's actually, by the way, we would talk about, this is actually, job search branding or career branding. But what is that book that you kind of like on the topic of branding?
Which one? The Donald Miller one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just blanked. I'll think of it in a second, and I'll say it.
Just say it out loud, yeah. All right, so
story brand. How to build a story.
How to build a story brand. Yeah, actually, I bought that. After you told me that recently, I bought it on Audible, and I just haven't gotten.
It's good.
But yeah, it's in my queue on Audible.
It's good.
Looking forward to that. So this is a little bit of a different, obviously branding can have a lot of different topics. This one is your job search branding, or you could almost call this career branding, but strategies to get found and stand out. And if you just started listening to this podcast, you may not realize that we're several into this. There are I think there's 8 modules or something, 150 slides altogether, but tonight we're covering just job search branding, this particular module. And this is all stuff that I learned during the very hard job search during the pandemic. I was laid off like millions of people around the world. I wasn't special, but I just, I fought really hard to find a job during that time. And then I documented my experience. And so that's kind of what this is. So it's all practical stuff, basically. But anyway, module 5 is job search branding, strategies to get found and stand out. And from a psychology standpoint, I like to pull in career psychology and business psychology sometimes. Not that I'm trained in that, but it's something that I like to observe in the world at whatever level of skill that I can do. And so one of the things that I kind of picked up on during my very hard pandemic job search was that recruiters and hiring managers are under intense psychological pressure to not make a hiring mistake. And because of that, they're looking for anything and everything to help them not make a mistake and try to find clues about who you are and what you're all about and how good you are or how bad you are, etc. And so because of that, they actually go online a lot. And online is a key area for branding and for career. So kind of be ready for just be thinking about in this module, because online will be kind of dominant with this module, most of it. But be ready for that online interrogation and use it to your advantage, right? If you know they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn and you know that that's going to make a big difference on whether or not they're going to hire you, then maybe you would prepare differently, right? So kind of be thinking about the psychology. Personal branding, you need, and whenever Beastmode wants to, you can pop in here. I'll just get this slide started, but personal branding, you need to develop and control your personal brand. Your brand is how people see you, which influences what types of jobs you will be considered for a lot. So what I'm saying with this one is that people don't use a lot of, especially if there's a tighter job market, people are looking for the unicorn, right? The exact perfect fit for the job. They're not really creative. They're not going to just, they're not going to say to themselves, well, Susan is so talented and witty and gifted that although she doesn't exactly have the right experience we need, we know that she's so good that she would do great at this job, right? there's maybe just a little bit of a hint of that, but not much. Mostly people look at whatever your brand is and they hire according to your brand. So I'll just trust you to jump in, Beastmode, whenever you want to on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that we've talked about for a couple of years now, that I personally, it's a big burden on me that people miss out on. There's a huge opportunity to differentiate yourself. We've been talking about the past 4 weeks about differentiating yourself on LinkedIn, on your resume, things like that. This is one right here. And personal does not mean your family. That's not what it means. I mean, that's the biggest misconception. People feel like, I don't want to put my family on social media. Nobody told you to, but you're a person and people do business with people. And so they need to know about you. And so sometimes that does come with a picture of your wife and kiddos or whatever you're going through, whatever. I mean, I got fired, that's personal branding. I'm dealing with a conflict, so.
Yeah, good stuff. I was just thinking about, did I cover that last bullet? Maybe I didn't. So a strong online brand aligned with the type of job you're looking for can actually help jobs find you. And I showed in the last, if you haven't looked at the last module, you need to go look at that last module. It's on YouTube. By the way, we love you guys who are just on the audio.
Yeah.
Which is why we try to read the slides really well and get into the discussion. But for this series, YouTube would help you out. Yeah. Because there's a lot of slides and they're really pretty and there's a lot of work that went into that. So I would just say, I can say they're pretty.
Yeah, so, I mean, true.
I took all the graphics from someone else, but I did assign them. But yeah, you might want to check this out in YouTube. But anyway, these jobs, a good online brand can actually help people find you. I would say that in the last module, we talked about a few jobs that actually came to me because of my brand online, right? And that's all stuff that I just, I just shaped it up a certain way. LinkedIn is your storefront. It doesn't mean that there's not other social medias, and we'll get into that in a later slide. But LinkedIn is your main storefront to showcase your brand. So how do you use LinkedIn? Posting to LinkedIn daily. So I know Beastmode was one of my biggest supporters. Probably kind of my brother and Beastmode were probably two of my wife, of course, but outside of that, we're probably my biggest supporters. And they watched, they saw me posting every day, on LinkedIn. Yeah. And it's because I wanted to keep front and center. And also I thought, listen, I don't have a job. I can help the community some, So one of the things that I did was, to post to LinkedIn every single day. When you post regularly to LinkedIn every day, it will create a body of work online that offers a genuine value to the community on topics that you can speak to, right? So nurses are kind of heroes to me. So I talk about nurses a lot. And I used to want to be a nurse. Heck, I might even do it in retirement. But you never know. I may just totally switch my career. But I do love the medical professionals, and nurses are kind of like, the captains, right below the generals who do all the work and are smart. So we talk about, as a nurse, there are topics that you can speak to, right? Or as a sales professional, or as a landscape architect, I mean, there's so many things that you can speak to that are from your own mistakes and from your own lessons and successes. And so, I actually posted this weekend that it's not a matter of do you have something to share, it's a matter of will you share. And so posting online helps people to understand what your skill set is, but you're adding value at the same time, right? So it's this beautiful symbiotic thing where you're helping the community, but you're also branding yourself.
Yeah. The daily content is just so important. And just a little bit, I don't want to steal your thunder, but just a little bit over the course of a week adds up.
Yeah, and you've noticed how I've gotten away from that, and I've got to do better. It's like once a week now, and it's like I think of these. I have this topic right now that I want to post on, and I feel it, and I just need to take the time and do it. I'm probably a little less trendy now, but I need to be.
Yeah, the problem is I know you know this, Howie, but the problem is that if you If you hold on to it, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I can't hold it on anymore. I got to get it out. Then you just fire hose, and it's like that content that you just spit out like 3 weeks of content into one post.
Yeah.
You know, and people do it all the time. And you're just like, you know, okay.
I know I should consider a scheduler.
Yes.
I really should.
You just think about like for the month, you know, June, I'm going to talk about this. And then you just plan it out. And again, when you plan it out, it does your creativity. It allows you to, I can be instantly creative as opposed to trying to force myself. Oh, what's my topic for today? And I have to be creative. No, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you kind of broke up, but because you recapped it, we got it. No, it's okay. You recapped it. Basically, you're saying, scheduling or having things in a discipline, means that you can have the planning part, and then you can still do the spontaneous stuff. And that's one of Beast Mode's big messages to me over the years has been, be the planner, sure, but if you will be the planner, you can still do the spontaneous stuff. Do a little bit of both. Yeah, I love that message. It's valuable.
I mean, Steve Jobs, he talks about it. He wore the same outfit every day so that he could spend his creativity elsewhere. He planned in advance. I'm just going to throw this on. Who cares? Because I want to spend my creativity over here. It's the same deal.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Same thing with Zuckerberg.
You want to hear what my LinkedIn post is going to be? That's pent up.
Yeah.
Here's the title: Vision beats facts. That's the title. Okay. I had this vision, which I think I told you about. If not, I will.
I did. About you in a boat.
Yeah, being a boat. Yeah. And it's been impacting me at work. Good. Because no matter what the facts are, the circumstances are of what I'm going through, I believe the vision instead of the facts. And because I believe the vision and not the facts, not that I'm stupid or I'm like self-blinding, right? But like I acknowledge, today's a horrible day, or today I'm overwhelmed, or I'm dropping the ball because I'm too busy, or I made a mistake, or whatever. All those things might be temporary facts, but I follow a vision. I believe as an overlay on top of the facts. I believe the vision first, and then the facts second. Yeah. So anyway, I want to write about this. Like you said, it's burning a hole in my pocket. Yeah. And we should do a whole thing on that one night. Actually, that would be great. I think it'd be really beautiful because people need to have some vision and some hope, and not just be battered about by the facts of hard life. I mean, geez. Cool. True. All right. Anyway, so you will be associated with the types of content you post in terms of your job skill and your match. And so, we've talked a little bit about using keywords in your LinkedIn, but just to be safe, I'm going to make a comment about that. If your industry has keywords, like for nurse, there's different types of nurse. There's like LVN, there's RN, there's BSN, there's MSN, and then there's medical terms, which I don't know, but there's all kinds of medical terms. And so if you post those in your content, as well as posting those in your profile, then it makes you more searchable. So that's one thing. But anyway, do your daily post to LinkedIn, and then there are people will start kind of associating you with your content, and it'll help you get found. It'll also help you grow your network of connections. You'll find that people that are in your direct industry or adjacent to your industry will kind of gravitate to you a little bit more.
Yeah. A good hashtag basically will accomplish all that, in my opinion.
Yep.
Just a good hashtag that is yours, that you use all the time, and then just put it in every single one of your posts at the end or wherever.
It's good. So what about planning some of your posts? Like, what are some types of, what are some ideas? We want to give you some sparks for some ideas of things to post. How about share advice about how to solve a problem related to your field and expertise, right? So Beast Mode would probably share about branding, right? Because why? Because number one, he's got a certain amount of knowledge and experience about that. But number two, he likes that, right? So it's okay to post things that are kind of in your wheelhouse that you like, right? So it might be one type of thing. Yeah. what about talk about an idea you executed in a former role and the difference that made, right? That'd be good. Here's the problem. Okay, so let's say you're in your career 10 years, right? Say you're at the 10-year point in your career. You've probably not failed at every single thing every single month for 10 years. Probably not, right? So if you succeeded in 3 or 4 things a year, or 2 nice things a year, you solved a problem or you built something or you did or whatever, that's a story. And the thing is, like, the tribe could really benefit if you'll share that.
Yeah.
So, Beastmode started a great nonprofit, right? That sounds so intimidating if you just say that, right? It's this great homeless ministry, multiple very heavy duty vehicles involved that are customized, and the logistics of that, and the struggles of battling with flaky volunteers and all, databases. And it's just really, there's a lot that he can unpack with that, right? And what he's learned so far. And he's at I think the 2-year point. Yeah, right at the 2-year point right now. And so it's there's a lot there. And so, has he had some failures along the way? He might say yes. Yeah. But then also it's hey, if he had 1 success a month, why not make it a story? Why not post about that?
Yeah.
And that kind of speaks to me when I say that, by the way.
Yeah. Successes or failures.
Yeah.
They're both relevant.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Unpack that, because that needs to probably be a point on here.
Successes can almost come across as braggadocious, and so sometimes they're unrelatable. Failures is something everybody relates to, and so it's honestly probably a better go to share a failure more frequently. Like for me, when I get on LinkedIn, I just see tons of people bragging because they're all just sharing success. And it's well, can you share about, the stores that didn't do well and how you're bouncing back? Because that's more relatable to me than you opened up 10 new stores, So
it's good. Yeah, I think the balance is good. I like that. Yeah. I don't know what the mix is, if it's 60-40 or, the other direction 60-40, I don't know. But yeah, I think you better blend them both. And I'm glad that you brought that up. That's good.
I think your life will tell you what the blend is, because there's going to be a season where there's a lot of failure, and it's there for a reason. Don't waste it.
And that takes a certain amount of courage. And also,
yeah, totally.
But also, I've had a post recently that my brother and wife told me to take down because it was too transparent. By the way, I kept it. If you want to see it, I can text it to you. Because I kept it because I felt like it was so freaking real that it didn't really hurt. I wrote it in compassion. I really did. I wrote it because I feel like people would need it, and but they thought it might be bad for my career to post that transparently. So I think there's a point at which, write these things in a way that if your boss saw it, that it would, if you had a boss, if you're not, if you're not if you are job searching, it doesn't matter as much. Although your job, someone who's looking at you may judge that. But if you have a job and you're just doing career branding online, then just make sure you write the failures in a way that's palatable to a leader, right? Yeah,
it's not a sob story.
Yeah,
no, it's a factual.
And you also don't bash anyone. Bash anyone.
No, it's factually based. Everything is you're just giving an overview. You're not taking a side. It's not your side. It's not somebody's against you. You're against them. It's, hey guys, this is a failure. Or this, I thought this was a failure, but this actually was a stepping stone to this success.
Yep.
But the more you could take the bird's eye view of the failure, the better. Okay, because nobody else wants to hear you complain.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Anyways,
for sure. So post motivational content to encourage other job seekers. So I did a lot of this. A lot of my posts, you might remember at the time, were sharing techniques like this or whatever I was working on, and sharing them, right? And so it kind of shows people, hey, I'm on a job search, but also I'm the kind of person who is, able to come up with some strategies and share them out and all that kind of stuff. So if you post motivational content, it has this nice benefit of helping the community, but also kind of branding yourself as, hey, here's a really engaged job seeker who has some ideas, so it's kind of good.
Yeah.
Post something that inspires you, right? So I'm not really big on, I'm a Christian and I don't really post a lot. I did at Christmas Eve, I posted a very religious post. I generally keep it pretty secular, but inspirational is what I would call it for my style. But I would say, you can be, and occasionally it's okay to be really just direct about some sort of motivational thing like that. But I think posting something that inspires you is always going to be welcome, and if you get too, if you don't want to be like political or anything, just something in general that inspires you would be really good.
Yeah.
A little bit of humor is okay.
Yeah.
I recently posted a thing, didn't have a lot of traction, but it was like, there was a cooking school sign at a local kind of a high-end grocery store. We have this very high-end grocery store in DFW. There's a few of them. And then inside there is a restaurant and a cooking school. And there was a sign that showed the restroom with an arrow pointing in a certain direction, and then the cooking school pointing in the same direction. And I said something like, I took a picture of it and I posted, I said, this is convenient if it doesn't work out, And so, a few people thought that was funny, so just little goofy stuff, little humorous stuff, keep it clean, but some of that can be fine too. Don't post about politics, just avoid it. And then, so that's a few. Now here's a few specific ideas. This is one that I posted giving job seeker advice. And, here's literally an example about posting. In fact, here's one was just a little short inspirational thing: outwork, out prepare, outlast, out help, out care. Right, just a little quick thing I posted. Here's one from Tony Robbins. And so this is an example of posting something that he posted and just kind of reposting it. All I did, what's great about this kind of stuff is I usually can forward a post and I just put a couple hashtags on it, like Beastmode was saying, and then I have a brand new post, right? And some of those were getting traction as well. Another one, I actually gave some respect and some love to a guy who I really admire in the work in the business world, and so I said something nice about him. And so this is my way of kind of inspiring people, and also giving him some love. But again, for the day, that was that post. That was my post for the day, right? So you're going to need a lot of ideas if you're going to try to post every day. This was a video that I did. So videos take a little bit of getting used to, and you're going to feel like you look like a dork. I thought that all the time,
Yeah.
But you just have to be brave and just be willing to, feel stupid.
Yeah. Get over it. Yeah.
Kind of get over it.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what Beastmode said earlier, we have a little pop out here too. Just use you use some hashtags, and maybe you'll be able to use similar ones. Maybe now one of his ideas was to actually have your own branded hashtag. So I think mine is careers 411 or something like that. I haven't used it in a little while. I need to get back to that. But I also have a cyber fam 411, which is I post. I haven't done this in a while either. My new job is crazy. I'm just very busy. But I was posting cybersecurity for family tips. And I really like that series actually. But I use my own hashtag for that, just like Beastmode said. And I know you've got one that you like to use.
Yeah, I use hashtag rooting, the number 4, and then the letter U. So rooting for you. I also say we are for you or grateful for you. And so very similar, but it's just one of those ones that it's just consistent. And so the volume, so if somebody clicks on it, well, I use it the most. And so it's going to come up with my stuff,
I like it. So this is a few topics. You may want to just pause the screen or rewind this and get some ideas here. But the intent isn't just to do exactly what we're saying. The intent is to inspire you to come up with some ideas.
Yeah.
Some posting points so you can be like this cool tiger here. Somewhat terrifying.
Very terrifying.
I never want to be this close to a tiger.
No.
But post with very high quality grammar and spelling. If you're not great with grammar and spelling, then you can use a Chrome add-on for Grammarly, and it's free. You can buy the premium version if you want to. There is a free version, but post with very high quality grammar and spelling. Write and rewrite your posts to make them as clear as possible. By the way, what I do on my posts a lot of times is I will get them to a certain level of quality, and then over the next couple of hours, I'll reread it. As maybe I'm waiting at the car wash or something, and I'll read it and I'll change the wording a little bit and I'll kind of edit them. So sometimes I'll edit mine, several times over the first, couple hours, let's say. You can do that. And then post fearlessly, ignore your feelings and do it. Everyone has doubts.
Yeah.
Right. Now, my brother and my wife told me to pull that one down. I think that, to be honest with you, it was needed in the world. I will send it to you. But still, I posted it fearlessly. Now, in that case, they were like, you know what, it feels a little bit too vulnerable. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna honor that. I'm gonna honor people that care about me. But I think in general, you should be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At least sometimes, right? Posting a joke is not uncomfortable. Posting a Tony Robbins video is not uncomfortable. But there ought to be times where you push yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, don't worry. I've noticed that my likes are way down lately. Don't worry about that stuff. It kind of fluctuates, and you really can't predict what the algorithm is going to do, because you don't have there's not a straight line to the number of followers you have.
Yeah. That's not the purpose of it anyway.
Yeah.
The purpose is not for the like. The purpose is for the brand. You're developing a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so today's post is what it is, but it doesn't mean you're not going to post it. No.
You have to be faithful to posting and to your brand and not worry about that. And people, you might have one day where you have a decent number of reactions, and that might feel nice, but then the next day, the problem is now you kind of set your mind at that level and you get disappointed and you're like, well, I guess I'm no good. And you have to, so, just understand everybody has those feelings. Everybody would prefer to have likes than not. Okay. It's just normal, but don't worry about it. And like Beastmode said, it's not why you're doing it. You're doing it for branding and awareness. And plus, a lot of people just don't like stuff. They just read it.
Yeah. There's so many people that don't engage.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
I have people tell me every now and then, this is not very often, but every few months, let's say, like, oh, I like your stuff. And I'm like, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Like you never, you can't give me a thumbs up, but okay, well, thanks for telling me verbally that you like it. But anyway, force a mindset. Force a mindset. Go ahead. Oh, there. Force a mindset that you will post to share value. Yeah, just try to force yourself into a mindset that you'll post to share value and inspire and help others, and not for results. That's a little bit of an exercise. That's a little bit of a forced thing. So what I'm saying is, like, and for me, I kind of do it in prayer, or I do it in kind of just personal meditation, or maybe both. But I'll just say, why am I doing this? Am I trying to be famous here, or am I trying to help the community and let people know who I am, for my future, job situation, and the answer needs to be, like, I need to discipline my own heart, my own motives. The answer needs to be that I do want to add value to others.
Yeah.
I like that.
Think about the 5 people.
Yes.
The 5.
Yes. So here's a tip. You occasionally, and I do this a lot actually, if I was really feeling a post, sometimes if I don't even have a lot of, people that have liked it, I will actually feature it. And so on LinkedIn, you can feature, it's like 2 clicks. So it's pretty nice. So you can have, it's almost like this little basket of stuff that your recruiters and people can browse. So you feature much stuff?
No.
It's good. It's good to feature a few things.
I need to. Yeah.
Stuff that you're feeling or that's really teaching, and occasionally it could just be one that does blow up. Like, okay, well, that one had a fair amount of likes. So it's like that must be worth featuring, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not just that. It's also like what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Now, articles is a different thing, and I haven't checked these out in a little bit, but LinkedIn articles are a little bit of a richer formatting way of posting. So you can embed pictures, and they're nice. So it's like a little publishing platform on LinkedIn, and they're in a different area. I don't necessarily see that LinkedIn's algorithm pushes these very much, though. You don't get any special credit for using these things, but these LinkedIn articles are pretty cool. And so it's good to have some. Like, if people are looking at your profile and you have no articles, then it's kind of a wasted opportunity. So you got to take a little more time, put a couple graphics in, and if you're in this job search branding, or if you're just working on your career branding, do a couple of articles. Articles look great, and they're featured in a kind of an emphasized way on your LinkedIn profile. That is true. You do not need to post an article every day. There's no way you can do that unless you don't like to sleep. I mean, if you try to do a post, you try to do one of these richer articles every day and a post, like, good luck. Never going to happen. Plus, no one's going to read. It's like reading the newspaper. Like, you don't have. They don't have time to read Susan's newspaper every day, right?
Yeah. No, once a month.
Once a month would be great. Yeah, that would be amazing. And I'm sure there are people that really have that discipline. Yeah. I need to do one, actually. Maybe I will. It's been a long time for me. But take your time with these. They do have more weight because they look like a publishing platform, like New York Times. They look really good. The same guidelines on topics, though. Share a best practice, an experience, an inspiration, or even some research that you did. That'd be good. Just the fact that you did some research. That'd be cool. I never did that. I don't know how I came up with that idea. Maybe I saw somebody. But that's a good one. Article ideas, though. Here's 3 that I did. And like I said, caution, it's been a little while. Mine are a little bit old, but these are sort of timeless things that are still relevant. But here's 3 that I did. You can see they look a little bit nicer. Like, they have this subtitles, picture at the top. You can do pictures in the body as well. But here's 3 examples that are possible. LinkedIn liking and commenting. I know Beastmode's kind of big on this. I'll start it off just so he sees what's in the slide natively. Yeah, there we go. And then you can add to it. But checking your LinkedIn feed, liking and commenting on the posts of your connections and other people that might be interesting will remind people that you're out there, right? So by the fact that you're doing this job search, or you're building your career brand, and by you liking and commenting on people's stuff, it builds a little bit of a relationship. They appreciate it. So that's really good.
Yeah.
You also grow your network connections. And I know Dennis did this, me and Beastmode's friend Dennis. He actually learned that LinkedIn really likes it when you like and comment and you view people's profiles. And so you can kind of hack LinkedIn a little bit that way. But so I know this is a big area for you, so I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah. I think liking and commenting is very underrated. As we talked about, people just don't do it. They read it and they don't take that next step. And so when you do, it's valued. I mean, how it feels to you when you post something and 20 people like it. Well, return a favor. Be one of those 20 back to somebody else. Do it in advance before you have your 20, before you have your 5 or your 1, But to me, the best way to comment isn't necessarily in somebody's article. That's cool. The best way for me is kind of like what you did, is share it with a comment on top. And there's reasons for that. If I comment, then sometimes whenever somebody's coming in behind me in my network, they're just seeing that I commented. They don't necessarily see what it is, But if I shared the whole post with my comment on top, then it does both. And the person gets a share. And honestly, that's more valuable to that person.
That's smart. That's really smart. Love that. Yeah, you're helping them with their distribution, with their content. That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that builds a deeper, better relationship than just liking. It's probably kind of like reading their stuff has 0 value. Liking is worth 1 in relationship points.
Yeah.
Commenting is worth 2, and sharing is worth 3.
Yeah.
Now you could actually do all 3 though.
Yeah, you get 5 if you
Yeah.
comment, like, and share.
Yeah.
To me, when I comment, like how if you post and I comment on it, it's very private. You see it generally. Most people who aren't looking at it. Even LinkedIn will sometimes hide previous comments, so you don't even seeing everybody else's comments.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just share if I share your post and I attach my comment on top, everybody sees it. Everybody in my network sees it. You know,
smart.
So yeah,
it's a good way to give and develop a relationship. I love it. And also your branding too, right? You're not just helping them, but you're obviously posting that, so that must be something that is within your orbit as a person.
Yeah.
So you're kind of branding still, honestly, by doing that. That's a good move. I didn't do that. Not intentionally. I may have done it if something really struck me, but I didn't do it to show love or to network at all. And that would have been a good move for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Virtual coffees. I used to hate these. To be honest with you, people would ask me to have a virtual coffee, and I do love coffee, but virtual coffee sucks because it's not real.
Yeah.
But what people would do is they'd say, hey, let's have a virtual coffee, which is basically like a 15 or 30-minute Zoom chat. And during the pandemic, no one was leaving their houses. And so this is all you could do. And it's still kind of convenient, to be honest. It really is convenient. It's easier than meeting someone in person and stuff. It's quicker, especially if it's less it's also less commitment than meeting in person. It's a good idea. I was annoyed with it, and then I got used to it. Develop, I feel like you just never know, that person knows 100 people. And so having a virtual coffee with someone, can help you and them.
Yeah.
I'm introverted, so it's not my favorite.
I have a huge pet peeve when it comes to these.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I think it's fair. If you want to invite me to a virtual coffee, fine, have a topic and ask me to engage the topic. Hey, do you have 5 minutes to talk about this? Then maybe I would, but I don't want to get on virtual coffee and then you try to figure out what you want to talk about. I'm busy.
I know they kind of annoyed me as well. They stopped annoying me when they probably, as an introvert, they still annoy me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I remember during the job search, which was a certain kind of hell, that, I remember getting on with this lady a couple times, and we were both job searching, and I told her some tips and tricks that I was using. And, I feel like I got to be part of her journey, and then I got to, cheer her on when she got a job. And then she actually introduced me to a recruiter in the security space who I then got to know. And then she introduced me to her friend. So it did kind of help me a lot in terms of networking, as well as the camaraderie of that was nice. And but then I did have I had a couple of worthless ones, and then I had a couple more that were valuable. I probably had about 6 or 7 that I can think of. One guy totally wasted my time. Another one was a pretty good recruiter situation. Anyway, I don't know. They can vary. I think you're right. Having a topic would be nice. And just go with your gut on these. But it's something I had to bring up on this because it's a known move, or it's a known technique that people use. But if you're out there and you're introverted like me, you may not really like these. You may have to make yourself do some of these. But I agree with Beastmode. They're not a free floating, no purpose coffee is like, I don't know.
No, I would not show up to a random coffee like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I'm not going to do it virtually.
Exactly.
What do you need my 15 minutes for? What do you need it for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there ought to be, if they literally give you no topic at all, then you should probably not show up at all.
When you're super vague and invite me to a coffee,
right?
With the moment what I think of when you do that is you sent this to 100 people, and so I'm not valued because I'm the same as 100 people. You're just hoping somebody takes it. And whenever you come at me with specific, hey, Beastmode, I saw this and it reminded me of you, and I would just die for 15 minutes of your thoughts on it.
Yep. See, that's good. That's so specific. Yeah.
You might get my time when you do that. But if I feel like I'm a dime a dozen, then no, I don't have time.
I did have someone. I'm remembering. I may have had more than I said on this, but I do remember that one person tried to sell me, and I wish they would have disclosed that.
Yeah,
I wish they would have disclosed that.
Yeah,
because I don't like to have stealth selling. You don't tell me that this meeting is about you selling.
Anyways,
I don't like that.
We need to wrap this one up. You got 3 slides left.
All right.
Final thoughts.
All right. Final thoughts. Daily think, how can I help my network and others within LinkedIn? Bottom line with posting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other social media, bottom line is, yes, other social media are really, are in the mix, but LinkedIn is kind of the Cadillac for your job search branding, right? Yeah. Keywords. I feel like, on my resume, as well as on my header of my resume, my cover letter, and on the my LinkedIn title, I used some keywords. And mine were builder, evangelist, and coach. And those were just basically kind of like describing some of the behaviors that I tended to see sometimes in my work life. And so you may have, I gave my daughter some branding keywords too. And I don't remember, I think it's like influencer, and I can't remember, like positive influencer. I don't know. Anyway, I gave her 3 as well. And she kind of modified them and made her own that were similar, or maybe add one and dropped one. But I think everybody can boil themselves down into those 3 keywords, whatever your keywords are. And then it'll help people to quickly get some idea of kind of where you think your strengths are. So I think that was a helpful thing. I didn't see anybody else doing it. A lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, I just didn't see, because I didn't put any really obvious stuff in the deck, stuff that every single person on the planet would have done, right? This tends to be a little bit more of the stuff I didn't see than stuff that I did say. So anyway, recap: build your online brand, especially on LinkedIn. If you have time for the other medias, good for you. I didn't have time, but you might. Creating daily content on LinkedIn is really, really critical. And then daily engage new or potential connections on your social. And hit us up if you would like to have a personal session on your job or career or your business. Beastmode, do you check that email very often?
I do.
Okay. So what's the email?
Howie and A&D beastmode@gmail.com.
Yep. The whole series that we're in right now is Strategy for Growth. And we thought we'd talk a little bit about, kind of just bat it back and forth, the idea of research in developing your content,